There'll be a couple game time decisions, see how they run. But right now we're pretty healthy.
And this seems like really obvious, right? But like, you've never really gotten a healthy Mike and a healthy Chris Godwin together for very long, right? I mean, even when they played together, one or the other. So how does that change or affect, your offense week to week and trying to game plan, not being sure exactly what you got there?
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard. Byron does a good job. And, I think the harder part is Tom not seeing those guys in practice, until late in the week. So he missed Wednesday, missed Thursday, you get limited reps on Friday and try to play in a ball game. So he's throwing to other guys. And sometimes that can be really, really hard on a quarterback, especially one that hasn't been with these guys that long,
Right.
And so it poses a lot of problems, but we're working through it. And Tom's working through. He's doing a great job with some of those young guys too.
Thanks.
Next question will be from Greg Allman.
Hey, Bruce. It's a nice problem to have, having all the receivers healthy, but you've got 7 on your 53. So I was just curious what that decision is like, how many you think you'll dress, and how you go about deciding who actually is live on Sunday.
I wouldn't say they're healthy, Greg.
Oh, sorry. Healthier.
They're healthier, but
Right.
I wouldn't say they're healthy. But I mean, that's a good problem to have. Special teams plays a big role in it as far as 5, 6, how many you dress. But the punt return, Justin Watson does a ton on special teams, and there's a lot of little things that go in there. So we'll make those decisions as we get closer to Sunday, which 5 or 6 we dress.
And then the last thing I want to ask you is just that last spot on your 53. I imagine you guys had kind of held that, not knowing what the injury situation is. Will you wait until Saturday, Sunday to decide on that?
We're gonna wait probably to the last minute and see where we go.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Next question will be from Jenna Lane.
Hey, Coach. Speaking specifically on Chris Godwin, I know hamstring injuries are really tough. What did you see from him this week in his return?
Yeah, I thought Chris practiced the majority of the week, and it's the best he's looked in a while. He's still sore, but he was able to get in front of the quarterback and show that he's got what he needs to have for this ball game. And it was good to see him out there because people don't realize how big of a part of our offense he is.
And also with a mini bye week, you were able to give guys a little bit more rest. Who do you think benefited the most from that extra time?
Probably Mike, of the guys that played last week, and our offensive and defensive linemen. They've been pounding it pretty good for a while now, and so it was a good rest, basically for everybody, but especially the big guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Next will be Scott Reynolds.
Hi, Bruce. Can you share with us which players will likely be game time decisions for you?
There's a long list. Miller, Godwin. I think Godwin's going to go. Evans. Let me look at my list here because there's a few more. Carlton Davis, Jordan Whitehead. Fournette and Khalil Davis.
Okay, thank you. And then can you provide an update on how a couple of your players on the temporary IR are progressing, specifically Auclair, Hurst, Molchen? And is there any progress at all with Justin Evans? Are you expecting him to possibly practice or join your team at any point in 2020?
That Justin is a funny one, but we think he's getting better, but he hasn't done any. He's starting to run a little bit. Molchen and Hurst practiced to see if they can come back. Eau Claire's getting close.
Thank you, Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Next will be Steve Isbitz.
Coach, you had talked before the season about how Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, they're such perfectionists and such detailed guys. Given that the offense has been had such big highs and big lows kind of thing, would you say Brady's frustrated, or is he sort of dialed in even harder, or how would you characterize how he's handling this?
Oh, I think he's dialed in. It's really, really hard. And, when you start losing the pieces to the puzzle that you've worked with and start adding new pieces, it takes a little time. And, I thought he did a great job of incorporating Mickens, Grayson, Hudson all in the game plan last week, and not afraid to throw him the ball. And Keyshawn's evolved, Tyler's evolved. So he's got a lot of trust in these guys, and hopefully when we get back to full speed, we'll see how it goes.
Thanks.
Next will be Sarah Walsh.
Hey, Coach. Going back to that laundry list of guys you had that are game time decisions, I want to just ask you specifically about Carlton Davis and his availability for Sunday, given what his responsibilities would be in the quarterback and the offense that you're facing, just how critical it is to get him to go on Sunday.
Yeah, it's very, very critical. He's our top corner, and he normally shadows the best receiver from the other team. So we've got our fingers crossed. He got some work in today, moved around pretty good, twisted a little bit, and was not pain-free, but was tolerable. So we've still got 48 hours, and good thing it's a 4:00 game. It helps even more.
We have time for a couple more. We'll go to Rick Stroud.
Bruce, can you just expand on Godwin and that piece that he brings, and just he's unique to himself, right, in skill sets, but in that slot position to your offense, what all the things he does.
Yeah, I mean, he's a premier outside receiver and a premier slot. I mean, there are very, very few of those guys that can play all over the field, and very few block like he blocks, and sets up the play action and sets the tempo, because he's the great run after catch guy. He can go deep. He's a very unique animal. I mean, he's big in the screen game. He's big in just underneath stuff that he takes to the house, and very few guys are like him in this league.
Last question will come from Ed Encina.
I was just one guy that you didn't mention in that long laundry list was LaShawn McCoy. Is he considered game time, or would he be?
No, Shady looks pretty good. I
Okay.
mean, he practiced yesterday and today looks okay.
And you guys have up until last week, you guys have done really good at getting executing on the deep ball. Last week wasn't one of those games, but when you look at that, were there matchup things? Was there something that the Bears were doing, or is it one of those things where now that you guys get healthier, maybe you get some of your top weapons back in the receiving game that can become a little bit more of a.
Yeah, I don't think we were bad at it. We got a big penalty. We had Grayson wide open and got tackled in for, the OPIs and DPIs. I mean, the DPIs don't come into a stat sometimes. So your deep ball, you didn't complete it. Yeah, we got 3 PIs, So to me, that was a deep ball. We missed a couple. We picked Mike, and Scotty had run by his guy. So that's just part of the game. So no, we were there. We just didn't hit him in that ball game.
That's all we have time for. Appreciate the time, Coach.
Thanks, guys.